Welcome back to CMS-Connected. I'm Tyler Pyber, and it's time for the Vendor Spotlight. And in today's segment, we will in fact be reviewing Sitecore. Now, back in Copenhagen, back in 2001, 5 friends decided there was a better way to build and manage websites. From there, Sitecore was born. Now, those 5 friends are still involved in the company, which remains headquartered in Copenhagen to this day. But the entity that is Sitecore has grown much larger than its roots as a simple web content management system. Now, they not only hold a significant presence in the digital marketing space, but are going as far as creating a whole new way to engage with customers in what they call experience marketing. Now, here to tell us more about Sitecore is our CMS-Connected media reporter, Laura Meyers. Laura, how are you?
Hi Tyler, I'm great, thank you. How are you? I'm so excited. It's my very first Vendor Spotlight.
I've seen some of your interviews. You're a seasoned vet now, right?
So I've been with the company since about July, and then I was able to go to SharePoint Fest in Seattle in August. So that's kind of when I got to just like get in there and get interviews done. I met tons of great people. It was super fun, and it was good to kind of like get into the interview space that way.
All right, you just said jump in, so why don't we jump right into the Vendor Spotlight right now? So Laura, now I have to admit this idea of experience marketing is really interesting, but what qualifies it? What is it about Sitecore that moves it past what other digital marketing platforms offer to enter into this whole new space, really?
I would have to say the biggest factor is that they have a truly integrated platform versus one that's just built on acquisition. So this gives that intrinsic access to all of that behavioral data. And with this data, it allows for personalization based on all of those fine-grained behaviors, giving that true contextual experience. Sitecore, they also offer a seamless sharing and consumption of behavioral data, and it allows kind of across the platform, which aids in giving that truly integrated experience for marketers. And I think kind of looking at it, other platforms would face a much bigger challenge of much more time and customization if they were going to offer that to their clients.
Now, we know at the end of last year, there was a release of Sitecore Experience Platform 8.1, and just this month at the Sitecore Symposium, they announced version 8.2. Now, how do these differ from the previous version, and what would you say is impactful about it as a platform as a whole?
Sitecore Experience Platform XP 8.0 was the largest release in the history of Sitecore and debuted this experience database, which really allows every visitor and every digital interaction to be tracked, analyzed, and personalized, which helps create that fine-grained personalization that I just mentioned. Sitecore 8.1 was kind of more of like a minor enhancement, while 8.2 is that really big, exciting release. We actually had Barb Mosher-Zink, who is, she's a MarTech analyst at BMZ Content Strategies. She's actually one of our contributors to our site, and she was kind enough to cover it in an article on our site, which was awesome. And she brought up the fact that version 7 was much more focused on technological upgrades, and then version 8 was much more about that business and user experience. And then 8.2 is actually the one that's going to combine those two. She kind of goes through all the features that she thinks is really exciting, but one of the things that I'm really excited about is the Experience Accelerator. It allows even non-techie people like me to create pages using this new drag and drop wireframe technique. And this environment they've created with these wireframes allows you, like I said, to drag and drop them, and then designers can then package those across the entire project, which is cool. Sitecore has also debuted a brand new framework of data integration for third-party content developers, so they can make it much easier for organizations to integrate Sitecore into their MarTech stacks. I'm trying to think what else I really liked about it. Oh, there was also that new way for organizations to, if they see 8.2 and they really want to get on it really fast, there's a great migration accelerator that allows them to kind of expedite that move over to 8.2. And for people on a cloud deployment, they can really have access to this advanced publishing feature. And of course, cloud is always such a popular topic with a new release, so Sitecore paid really special attention to it by now natively supporting the SQL Azure database.
Now, Laura, I also saw on September 5th, basically earlier this month, now Sitecore announced the release of Sitecore Commerce 8.2. Tell me about some of those new features. What are they?
I would say as I said before in the last question I answered, I would say the biggest new feature is the delivery of integrated commerce reporting as part of Sitecore Experience Analytics. This gives marketers a single source of deep dive analytics across all aspects of the behavioral journey, from the first clicks to that final purchase.
Now, earlier when we first started talking, I mentioned the Symposium from Sitecore. Now, I heard Coveo made an announcement there as well, right?
Yes, Tyler. So Coveo is at the Sitecore Symposium, which I have heard was super fantastic. A lot of the sections are quite packed, which is really cool for the Sitecore community. Coveo, of course, was there, and they took to the symposium stage to launch their new Sitecore Enterprise Cloud Edition, which features product and content recommendations that are powered by intelligent search and machine learning for all Sitecore websites. And they have a new native integration of Sitecore Commerce, which is exciting. And we're again seeing those deep dive analytics really being put to use here to inform those machine learning technologies to self-tune and they use this to return those predictive recommendations, which will offer that most contextual relevant content that people are really looking for. And there's also a new technology to push on-prem content over the Coveo cloud in real time with a nice elastic scalability and, of course, the optimal security that you need in anything you're doing with the cloud. As well, they've allowed for Sitecores and customers to, all of these things that they've created have really allowed Sitecore customers to have access to that truly transformational customer experience, which is really what everybody's looking for. And I feel like that is really what Coveo has really helped Sitecore and really move to that experience marketing place, which is really fantastic to see. And that partnership has kind of been long-standing, so it's interesting to see that they're still coming out with these really innovative ideas. Coveo's chairman and CEO Louis Tetu actually was quoted as saying, "Sitecore has been our strategic partner for years, and together we've created tremendous innovations. The launch of Coveo for Sitecore Enterprise Cloud is without question our greatest joint innovation."
Now, Laura, it's said that these new releases will keep both the business side and the IT side happy with an organization, but what else are people saying about it right now?
That's a fantastic question, Tyler. It's something that I was really curious about as well. I always look at everything from a usage perspective. So I will see, new things come out, we read press releases, we read articles, everything's really exciting, but I always like to talk to those users to figure out, when they're really in it and they've kind of got their hands dirty in it, what their opinions are, and then again, why someone would choose it over another platform. So I was actually fortunate enough to speak with Heather MacFayden, the VP at Falcon Software. She's actually been with Falcon since 1993, which is almost its very beginning. So she's worked with a lot of CMS platforms in that time. So I was really curious, with all that she knows about all the CMS platforms and the numerous amount of clients that she's worked with, why she would recommend this to a client, and then also what kind of client she feels would be best for Sitecore. Our interview is just here. Hi Heather, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Now, one of the biggest questions I wanted to ask you was, why would you recommend Sitecore over other CMS platforms, considering you've worked with so many for so long?
Well, the complexity of the project is a big driver. From a business perspective, there's no limits with Sitecore. If you dream it, we can build it. From a developer's perspective, it's a good product to work with. The API is solid, it's flexible, there's no surprises, so the developers typically enjoy working with it. There's also a large developer community out there with Sitecore, so finding support and solutions is relatively easy. The challenge we've had over time is the time to market. And traditionally, Sitecore has been a developer-focused product, so the time to market has been a little bit limited, or struggled. The new Experience Accelerator is putting a lot more power into the business user's hands. So it's going to be exciting to see how that's going to actually help streamline the whole web development process and actually speed up time to market.
Perfect. And time to market's definitely one of the things they addressed in their new release. So it's good that you sort of saw that need and then you can recognize their effort to remedy it in a way. The other big question I had was, what kind of client would you recommend Sitecore for?
Well, Sitecore is definitely for the enterprise clients with more complex digital needs. It's overkill for clients that are just looking to put up a simple brochure type website. It's a powerful product, comes at a price. So both licensing and with resources. So budget's a consideration, as well as the digital maturity of the client's a consideration. clients that have dedicated resources and dedicated digital teams are going to get a lot more out of Sitecore than clients that have shared resources that are spread thin. Another factor that we look at is actually the type of project that clients are looking to deploy. We'll look at things like if the client is needing to manage multiple web properties, they need to manage multiple languages, if they have complex governance requirements, they need to have granular security control and deployment processes. Those are the kinds of clients that we're going to look at for Sitecore. So really, you get out of it, like anything in life, you get out of it what you're going to put into it. So if clients are willing to invest in their digital teams and digital strategies and advance those digital teams and strategies, then we recommend that they look at Sitecore.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your input. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good stuff indeed. Big thank you, of course, to Heather for taking time out for that interview. And of course, thank you, Laura. Great stuff as always.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I'm very jealous that you guys are in the beautiful Boston Harbor right now, and I wish I could be there to experience it, but I hope you guys have an amazing time, and thank you again for letting me be on the show.
Awesome indeed. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with the CMS Insider.
The CMS-Connected show is going to Sin City. Yes, that's right. We will be on location at the Mirage Hotel and Casino, recording our show live at the 404 conference presented by Kentico. Why is this exciting? Because only when we record shows at events do we open our doors to let attendees be part of our live studio audience. If you're not sure that you're going to go, even though the speakers are the likes of Anne Hanley, Scott Stratton, and our very own Scott Lewer, here's another great reason to go. If you sign up for our newsletter, we will offer you a discount code that's exclusive to fans of the CMS-Connected show. But if you're a marketing superhero, kick-ass developer, or general Kentico enthusiast who's already going to the event, then we want to meet you. So please come check out our show recorded live Friday, November 4th.